is Richard Keno Odhiambo. I have a background in political philosophy and the law. I'm excited to be a young person in such a time in the history of our country called Kenya, and I'm looking forward to a fruitful engagement. Thank you. In the definition of the task of this generation, there are two aspects to it, either fulfilling it or betraying it. And since we are discussing matters to do with politics and governance, I will borrow from the Gettysburg Address, the last part of it, for the people, by the people, shall not perish from the face of the earth. And I believe that is the task of every generation. As a country, we find ourselves in a situation where we have a public with a sentiment that contradicts everything that is happening with reference to governance. Constitutional democracy, that task is identified through the invocation of Article 37 of the Constitution. But now, if we keep on invoking Article 37, then we keep on identifying the problem. And from there, we never find an opportunity to actually fulfill. King Solomon says that there's nothing new under the sun. Of course, men love associating with Solomon for obvious reasons. Of right to life, liberty, and the protection of property. And when governments become destructive to these ends, it becomes the responsibility of the people to alter this government or destroy it altogether. I have nothing to say, but I endorse the position of our youth thought leader. And I'm excited to be part of this conversation. It will boil down to the conversation about rethinking, reimagining our social contract. Reimagining our social contract, because Charles Louis II and the Baron of Montesquieu, there is no real separation of powers in a pure presidential system. One of the downsides of a pure presidential system is actually the risk of breeding a dictator as a president. And so in 2010, a very prominent politician in this country who I admire greatly was convinced that it was his moment to be the president, and it's public record. So now we have two drafts of the Constitution, what we call the Naivasha draft, which is largely called the politician's draft, which actually is the VAR 3738. And 37 is Article 37 of the Constitution. and 38 is Article 38 of the Constitution. And as I